So I'm hoping this works. I figured out how to share the link. No.
You haven't tried the other hubs yet?
No, this is the first one.
Oh, okay.
And so, I want to finish this. I can't stay. I don't know. We'll call it. We'll figure out. I can't stay. I can't go. I gotta do my homework tomorrow.
Do you, when you address the other presidents, do you address them like you address me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Well, no.
Like you saying?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
It's recording. I'm hoping I can edit this out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lisa, come on, man.
So, click on that. Since you're gonna, you're gonna be doing more talking than I am.
Okay.
Because you're gonna be having conversation with
them,
the other chapters as well.
Okay. Good. I'd like to talk to them.
I'm hoping that they join. I can.
Well, did you invite them? Because I wouldn't know how to join if I wasn't invited.
I just sent you an email.
Let me try it?
Yeah. Oh, you don't have it on your phone. It says in Google you can edit it, so I'm hoping we can edit this part out. I don't know. There's one viewer. Who's a viewer? Doesn't show you.
Is it you?
I don't know. Yay!
Hey!
Hey!
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Let me... Yay! Oh, maybe. I gotta grab my earbuds. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Are we the only ones so far?
Yeah, it's kind of confusing because I seriously spent like all morning trying to figure out how to do the recording for it.
Yeah.
and it's confusing, so I tried to figure it out, and hopefully this is working, but I know it's working because you joined, so.
Oh, good.
Did you get an invite and then you got the link, or?
Yeah, because I think it sent like 2 emails.
Yeah.
No, actually, I only got like an email from you.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if there's another one that hasn't come yet or something, I guess, so. Spin this thing around.
Well, Sam is here.
Mhm.
She's
Okay.
LTU chapter president.
Okay.
Didn't make sense for us to both sit
Away from each
away
other.
from each other and have the same.
Yeah, right. That didn't make sense.
Um,
Kelsey she wanted to come, but she's got like the recruitment stuff all weekend. So we were just kind of laughing because she was like, I was like, well, we could get together and sit for it. And then she was like, oh, and then she looked at the time. She goes, yeah. She goes, I probably won't be able to do like hardly any of those. So, but that's okay.
yeah, that's understandable. Recruitment for our Greek life starts this next week too, so a lot of people are busy at our
Yeah.
university.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and she is their like coordinator or whatever for recruitment. So she's like super stressed out about it. So she's doing fine though, I'm sure. So I should pull out some stuff.
How do you pronounce your name? Is it Abdelrahman?
Oh no, it's just you can just call me Abby. That's fine.
The other person on the call.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I can hear Nicole really well.
The other person is muted. I don't know how to unmute it.
Oh, they have to fix. Yeah, I think it's at the top of your screen.
Yeah, if you look at the Google Hangouts at the top.
Like right here.
Oh, they went away. I don't know how to pronounce their name. Oh.
Did you send it to more than just the head?
Abdelrahman. Well, I guess I have a couple questions so we can start, and hopefully people will join in.
Okay.
So membership this week. Membership month is this month, and then Midwest Quad has this week designated.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have events planned for this week, or did what OB have, or what OB presented at Grassroots, did that help at all? And then I guess you and Sam can have a conversation about like what events you have planned, or.
Do you guys have events planned this week?
We do. We're kind of a little bit weird, I guess. We just finished our 3rd week of class already. Mm-hmm. So we started a little bit earlier than everyone.
We did too, because
okay.
We don't want to compete with Greek Rush because our campus is so filled with Greek Rush. So for like the last week and a half, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so it was kind of easier for us to start the semester, or like we had like our first meeting. Well, it wasn't really a meeting, but we had like a cookout on the first Wednesday of the semester, which we do like with all of the student organizations within like our college. So it's urban planning and landscape, and then there's like a sustainable group, like a USGBC group, and we have a NOMOS group. So AIAS, we kind of like spearhead it and lead it. But so we had that like the first Wednesday, and then the second Wednesday we kind of do like a week thing, because it's almost impossible for us to do something every day in 1 week.
Okay.
we also have a weird thing at the very beginning of the semester. We have a lot of studios taking visits to their sites in the first couple weeks of studio, so or the first couple weeks of the semester during studio time. So a lot of times,
like, are they every day?
they're not every day. Like, our studio meets Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh.
But sometimes we can be kind of strategic about having things certain days so that most people are not like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, an hour, half an hour, you know, like over an hour away, like in Indianapolis or something like that. So we've actually done something every Wednesday since school has started. So then we have another thing happening this Wednesday as well.
Okay.
And we'll just be we're having like a Freedom by Design, like brown bag lunch thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're having a sort of like just our big like information meeting about like, you know, forum, and we go to the AIA Indiana Kentucky convention.
Mm-hmm.
So planning for that. And then we're having just sort of like all the events that we need people to sign up for, or, you know, say for sure that they're going to.
Yeah.
So we do all those kind of like little mini presentations so people know what they're about. And so that's coming up this Wednesday on the 10th.
Okay.
So you kind of have a push throughout the 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The beginning of the 3 weeks, and then leading up to this this week of our membership.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't necessarily have people like in CAP we're in CAP all 5 days of the week, but like within the college. I'll keep calling it CAP, but that's just the name of our college.
Okay.
But we like Tuesdays and Thursdays are really hard for us to have anything because people don't, because everyone's classes are so different those days.
Mm-hmm.
And then the university already kind of has a little thing that happens on Fridays at 4, so it's a little hard for us to like tail on at the end of that. So it's easy. Wednesday's kind of like a good open day where there's nothing going on, so it's really easy for us to do something that won't conflict with anybody else, you know, during that time frame. So
yeah, because it's a little bit, well, I feel a lot bit different with us. Our studios are Thursdays and Mondays. Yeah, Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
That switched to Mondays. But our college has made it so that every Tuesday at 1 o'clock from noon to 1, there's no classes scheduled there. So all architecture students, they can make it to that time unless you have like a job or a class off campus or off of the college. So that's usually when we have our like general like meetings to like get together and inform people of everything. But this last week we did things like there's a class that all freshmen take, and so we went to the class and we handed out ice creams with flyers, and then we told them come to our informational meeting. We basically for the first studio, we don't get to pick our classes like when you go online and pick them. By the first day of class, you just kind of say, I want this professor, this professor, this professor, and then they pick them. And so there we have like a bunch of different speakers, and we get to speak with them, and that's where a lot of the students actually learn about like what AIAS is and freshmen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's really nice that our college does, and we have a barbecue too that our college actually provides for us, but we just run it. And we did this year, and actually we got a lot more people than what we usually do, because we put it in a better location. We just put it outside, right the foot traffic, where all the foot traffic is, rather than having it like inside. It's a really unusual spot to have an event, but it's a great spot for just anyone to come and see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like our barbecue. It always happens on like the very first, like the steps. Like we have like this patio thing inside of our building, and it's kind of an awkward space. Like there's not, but it kind of works out well for us, especially to have something that's like right after studio, because our studio hours are from like 1 to 5.
Did you
so
do
it's like
a dinner, or did you do it as a lunch?
We did it as a dinner. Most people don't, like the architecture department or the whole college, I guess, doesn't normally have classes during lunch on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So everyone has like a 9 to 10 class, and then a 10 to 11 class, and then like an hour for lunch, and then studio the whole evening. But some people do take classes during that like lunch hour outside of the college.
Mhm.
So in the previous years, we've done it as a lunch, and it worked out okay. But a lot of people that wanted to go to it had to miss it, or if studios were taking like site visit days, you know, like typically your studio would leave at 12 or 12:30 to go out to your site.
Mhm.
Well, then they'd miss the whole thing. So I think having like more of a dinner thing helped us, and and knowing that they didn't have classes after that, most people kind of stuck around, you know, for. I think we didn't like actually close up until 7, and we got started at like 5. So
Okay.
people hung out for a while, so that was nice.
Oh, yeah, because we usually do everything at noon. It's very consistent for us.
Mhm.
And then the only other thing, well, we did one thing. It didn't work so well. We were going to show architecture, but it was very consistent with our studio time, and everyone was procrastinating and whatnot. But on Friday, we did a scavenger hunt of Detroit. Where we had these photos of the details of the concept of the building, and we had to walk around Detroit in groups and find the different buildings that match with it. And
Oh, really? That's fun.
was like the winner. And then
Yeah.
afterwards, in Detroit, there's a company that owns like 60% of the buildings, and we got them to give us a tour of most of their cool spaces. And it
Nice.
was really interesting. And then we just had like a party afterwards. And so our Friday event went really well. Other than that, it was kind of like a hit or miss with us.
Do you say your name Abdelrahman? How do you say your name?
Really? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
We can't hear him.
Oh.
No, we can't hear you. I don't know if you're talking at all.
Is your microphone muted? It would be like across the top. Like if you hover your mouse on the screen, like a little toolbar will show up, and there's like a little.
For him?
Yeah, he said it's on. I don't know. It's so sad. We were just talking about the events that people have planned during the beginning of the school year, because some people thought that it would be easier to have their membership week in the beginning of the school year than this coming week. But no, I don't think we can hear you. If you have headphones in, maybe try taking them out and then out of your computer and see if the computer microphone works, because it could just be your headphone microphone. I know. Now it's muted. No, it's not. Yay!
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you're Nicole, and you're.
This is Sam. She's the Lawrence Tech president.
Oh.
We're just in the same building, so it just made sense to sit together. Sorry, Abby.
No, you're fine. And I'm Abby. I'm the president at Ball State.
And I'm Abdel Rahman. I'm president at Ohio State.
Okay. Ohio.
So I have several questions. So for the membership, when is it usually due? Because.
When is the membership due?
Yep. It doesn't have like a set deadline, but.
No, not typically. But once you sign up, it goes from September until August. So if I am not a member yet, but I sign up in November, my membership would be until August 2015.
For a lot of the people at our school, they ask about a deadline. A lot of them think that there's a deadline, especially Patty. And but the thing is, I wonder if you give them like a deadline, maybe it'll make them actually like sign up. Say like, we're looking to have a deadline by this date, and then people will actually sign up rather than just procrastinating and saying like, well, I'll sign up next month. I'll sign up next month.
It's best to have people signed up before October, especially during this membership week. It's good to push them through this week and be like, yeah, AIAS membership month is all of September, but Midwest Quad is September 8th through the 13th. So if you want to give them a deadline of the 13th, you can.
What's
But
the September quad? What's the Midwest quad?
Midwest Quad is the region.
Oh, I thought like it's a conference. Oh, okay, all right.
Right.
All right.
It's the region in the Midwest of all the Midwest chapters.
All right. And for the local chapters, so for us, do we have to pay a membership fees like the AIAS Ohio State?
Yes. Membership fees are $47, and when you sign up through the national website saying like you're an AIS chapter, you can set your chapter dues as well, and those dues will go back to you.
Uh-huh. All right.
This year we normally don't set like a goal for like membership time frame, I guess, but this year we did. We're doing our shirts earlier this year, so we're actually going to be ordering them probably later at the end of this week, and we kind of have like a little promotion going on right now that if people become members during the month of September, then their shirt is free. If it's after the month of September, then your shirt's like $5. So I mean, it's still cheap enough that people will probably buy one, but it's just a little bit of incentive, I guess, to get people to sign up earlier rather than later, because we always have a lot of people sign up in the spring as well. But yeah, it would be a lot easier on us too if we had members sign up a lot earlier.
For us to get members to sign up, we usually have it where the first 20 or so that sign up get $20 back, and so it makes it so you kind of sign up then, and you want to get part of that first 20.
Yeah.
And so
Ohio's fairly a newer chapter that we've been in contact with over the past year, so that's where the questions are coming from. Just so.
yeah, that's why I have like it's all basic questions because the transition was not clear enough, so that's why.
It's totally understandable, and that's something that one of the transition task force is going to be working on this year, or they've actually worked on it a lot last year as well, and how to transition clean.
And so how do I get the list of the members who signed up for AIAS?
That one I really want.
That's what everybody is asking. I contacted the national office this week, and they're going to have something ready by the end of next week. So then I'll send out an email saying this is how you get that list, this is how you log in and see who has signed up and when they signed up.
Do you know how often they'll update it?
They talked about updating it last year once a week, but I'm not quite sure of how much they'll update it this year.
And how do I know if our chapter paid the $47 or not?
Yeah. If your chapter or each person?
It's each member pays the $47.
No, I mean like the chapter does it have a membership fees? It's like the Ohio State chapter, not each member?
Oh, are you asking how do you
register AIAS Ohio State?
Yeah, like when people, you were sent an, well, maybe. There was sometimes sent in, like, they'll send an email out to, like, your, like, we always get an email sent out to AIAS@bsu.edu, and that's how we renew ours normally.
Yeah.
But well,
I have your email already, so your chapter is registered, so I have contact with you.
So it's already registered, so there's nothing due for
your chapter is registered,
right.
But your members need to pay the dues.
Yeah. And the officers, they have to pay too, right?
The officer?
Yes.
All right. All right. So what do you guys do for the membership week to attract like people get to sign up for AIAS Ohio State? For AIAS, I mean.
We give them free food. That's always our first like 3 meetings. We always give free food. And then after that, we pretty much quit. But that's kind of our biggest push to get people to come. Everyone's starving after studio, so then whenever we offer them food, they're like, "Oh, okay, I'll come."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, food is like the best thing to.
How often do you guys have meetings? So throughout the year.
We have a meeting, a general business meeting, every other Tuesday. But we.
For all members or just the officers?
The officers is every week. But general members is every other Tuesday. But we have a cutoff because eventually studio gets to be too much. It's usually a first cutoff is at Thanksgiving, and then for second semester the cutoff is at spring break.
And does everyone show up, or is it like 10%, 20% of the members and the officers?
For our general business meetings, it's definitely not everyone, and we don't actually encourage like everyone to come to our general business meetings. We encourage them to come to all of our events that kind of promote them to do other things. But for them to like find out more information, we want them to come to those meetings, and it's usually probably about I would say about 40% of our membership that actually comes to that.
Actually, we have something going on that started last year by spring semester. It's called Practical Discourse. So we have like young professionals and practice and like local architects come in and like give everyone, like the AIAS members, their advice, what they should do in undergrad, what they should avoid, how they can compile a good portfolio, what they need to work, and all that kind of stuff, which I think is going well so far. And we're starting again by September 8th, which is tomorrow. So we're gonna have our first like lecture or our first meeting tomorrow. So.
Yeah, for all of our meetings, we also have some sort of speaker, whether it be our AIA or IDP
firms.
Like that, or firms. Yeah, we have someone that speaks that helps out some way for them that they need information about.
Yeah, we don't really have sort of like a set schedule for like general business meetings. Almost all of our meetings are normally in some way like event based. So, I mean, other than this meeting that we have coming up this Wednesday, which is really solely pretty much just an information session, most of our meetings are, you know, like we do like an IDP meeting. We have like a firm crawl that's coming up. We kind of suffer a little bit because we are really, really far from a city that has like an active AIA chapter and stuff like that. So we're kind of, I don't want to say that we are like really secluded, but we do, a lot of our events are fewer and farther between because we have to kind of branch that gap to be involved in things and to get people to take the time to get to those things is oftentimes kind of a struggle for us. But
do you have local firms around, or are those also in the city?
Yeah, there's not really anybody within.
Okay.
No. If there are any firms here, they are like our professors that have like small, like 1 or 2 person practices. So they're not really.
Yeah, I know the professors already and everything.
Yeah, right, and they're typically really small offices that aren't doing up, you know, a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, so.
So I guess this week is a huge push, especially for the Midwest Quad, to get members. And I don't know, Abdel or Rahman, do you have any events planned for this week, or just your?
So tomorrow we are having this practical discourse.
Okay.
And then on the 17th we have another IDP like lecture. So there's a lady from the NCARB coming and giving a lecture, which is sponsored by the AIAS.
Okay.
And every week we have like the practical discourse going on. So every Monday we have the meeting or something that the young professionals from the local firms and some other practice like architects, they come in, and that's how it goes.
You have that every Monday?
Every Monday, yeah. So Ohio State, we have like the lecture series going on, which happens every Wednesday, and so our thing goes on Mondays.
How does your chapter engage with all of that? Good.
I'm sorry?
How does your chapter run the discourse, or?
Yeah, the AIAS
Okay.
runs the
I
discourse.
thought it may have been with the school.
No, the school runs another lecture series that happens on Wednesdays.
Okay.
We get like famous architects. Sometimes they get big, sometimes they get like asymptote architects. So they get like big names, but ours is just like local firms.
With our school, we have a lecture series also, and our dean tries to get the biggest like person coming for the lecture series to pair up. We have a silent auction, and actually that's where we make almost all of our money through this auction. But what helps out a lot is our dean gets a lot of the big name architects to also come and gets them to go. He has the items are usually like dinners or golf outings, and he's really buddy with all of them and kind of gets them to all pay to go hang out with their friends. But it's kind of a more interactive way for the people in firms to want to help pay for the AIAS. That's what we
So, do you guys have a motto at all through the beginning of this week or throughout the year after coming back from grassroots or getting geared up for this year? Do you have like a motto that you go by?
Of like the plan
Like
for
the
the year?
chapter.
Oh, okay.
Well, I didn't know yesterday. Go ahead, Abby.
I don't know that we necessarily like grabbed anything that was like specifically from grassroots, but we've been using the relevance starts here tagline a lot because I think for us that's kind of been our biggest challenge is how do we make our AIS chapter relevant in such a small community that doesn't have sort of a lot of things going on outside of our college. So how do we make our chapter relevant and get people to realize that being a member is important, not just like coming to our events, but also, you know, being there for, I don't know, you know, not just coming for the events, but also being a member as well. So the relevance starts here thing has been sort of we've been using that a lot for things.
Okay. For us, we actually put it on our t-shirts, and it's get on our level. So the idea that in architecture school you start off at a certain level and you learn things in architecture, but AIAS kind of brings you to that next level, and then you can keep building on those levels. And so that's what our slogan is for this year. Get on our level.
I think one thing also we're gonna do this week is that we're gonna have a competition for the T-shirt. So we're gonna hold a competition for the design of the T-shirts, trying to like get more people into it, and whoever wins will get like free T-shirt.
How long do you give them to design a t-shirt?
I'm sorry?
How long do you give them to design a t-shirt? Do you...
So probably we're gonna have a meeting on Tuesday, and we're gonna set like that timeline for that competition. But as a general idea, that's what we're gonna have. Probably I'm thinking about like a week and a half.
Okay.
Since we don't have much to do with studio right now, so.
Not yet, anyway.
Abby, don't you guys do a really good t-shirt competition?
I'm sorry?
I think Abby does it. Don't you guys do a t-shirt competition that's really well? Because I don't think we don't do one here. We just kind of design those and go with it. But do you guys have a t-shirt competition or design? I mean,
we have in the past. Actually, last year we had some issues with funding from our university, so we actually had to spend all of our chapter dues on when we hosted Quad because we couldn't get the funding that was sent to us went to the university first, and we could never get it actually to our chapter.
Yeah.
So we actually didn't get t-shirts last year. This year we're gonna roll out just like a plain black V-neck with our AIS logo like on the chest. That's the shirt that we're gonna order probably at the end of the week. But then I think in this fall we're gonna sell. Our college is turning 50 this year, so they're having a lot of big celebrations for that. And so one of the things that they did a couple of years ago was they sold these really nice like collared fleece, like little zip-up polo things that had like the college logo on it. So we're going to be selling those again in the fall, and then doing like a t-shirt design competition in the spring for like CAP and the 50th, but kind of related a little bit more to AIAS than just the college. Because if we put something with just the college's logo on it, we're not allowed to make any money off of it. So
Okay.
kind of.
Do you guys have any ideas about fundraising? So, any like new ideas? Because here, so the landscape architects, they sponsor a golf competition, and that's like how they get their funds mainly. But for us, we don't have like any new ideas. So I'm just asking.
And things. Like I said, our auction is our biggest thing that helps us. When our dean helps just get, he kind of basically sells these things, and it's really great that he helps us out with those and those people. But other things that we do is we have a Pose Arts Ball, and we do it with University of Detroit Mercy, which is just on the street from us. And we really try to make it so the venue's cheap and everything's great for members, and we bring professionals and everything, but usually it doesn't fundraise as much as we hope it could. And then we've been trying the last couple of years to do a concert, but the problem with that is kind of the venue also. It's finding a place to have these things costs money, and then it brings it up, and then students won't actually pay to do it. So on a big scale, our events kind of can be tricky with that. So we use a lot of times we try to get connections with venues. Like sometimes people know places, or we try to like drop that we're a nonprofit and try to get a deal with that. So I think it really helps when you say that you're a nonprofit. Yeah, you do a lot of good stuff.
A lot of chapters will also sell their T-shirts to the public sometimes, and then I know working with restaurants in your local area, they do a lot. Like some restaurants will do fundraising. If you get a percentage back to your organization.
That's really easy. Like,
Yeah, it's so easy to do.
We have Potbellies, Noodles, Mongolian barbecue. Like they all do that. It's usually just whatever is most popular on campus that people want to eat. It's what we usually go with.
So do you guys have any grad students in the school, or is it just undergrads?
We have grad, but it can be a struggle getting them to join. Yeah.
Some chapters are mostly grad-based, and some chapters are mostly undergrad-based. So it really depends on the university. But I want to say most of them are undergrad-based, with trying to get grad students involved. Last year there was a grad student task force for membership, and that worked really well. And I think in a couple weeks here we're going to have another call just to have a conversation about how to get grad students involved.
Yeah, we have a really similar issue. Our grad student studio is actually, like the studio classes are not the same day as our undergrad studio classes, so Wednesday works out really, really well for the undergrad students to get together right after studio, but our graduate students don't meet on Wednesday for studio, so most of them are not only are they not on campus that day, but most of them are not even in Muncie that day. Most of them are about an hour away in Indianapolis where they work. So we actually got sort of that was like a little note in our accreditation this past year was about the fact that we don't have very many grad student members, which is also funny because Ryan Gann was our student advisor, so I was like, I know exactly who put that on the list. but I mean, it's a very valid point. So I think this year we're going to try to do like a mentorship program. So try to get our graduate students, sort of treat them like with a little bit more esteem than we treat our undergraduate members. So kind of making it seem like they serve a purpose, like, you know, we need them to help us, you know, I don't want to say like teach our undergraduate students, but I think if we give our graduate students more of a role in AIAS, then that will make them want to come. We also do night school, which is just a student-taught evening class that we do where we pick a program that students want to learn. So if it's Revit or Rhino or V-Ray or whatever, we'll run like a little 3-week series on it. And typically we have upperclassmen teach that. It would be really great if we could get graduate students to teach it, so we're going to kind of try to encourage them to do that this year. But I think by giving them sort of a, like I said, not like a job, but something that makes them feel a little bit more important than just like, oh, I'm a regular member with all these other like kids in undergrad, then it'll kind of make them feel like they, want to be there. Sorry, Nicole. I know you might be the only grad student here, but
No, it's okay. I don't take offense to things very easily.
so we'll see. We're trying to trick you guys. We'll see if it works.
I think that's what.
That's really neat.
Yeah, you need to tell them that.
No, those are
Yeah.
some ideas.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
And I know.
Well, and I think
You want to talk about the mentor?
What we
Yeah.
So yeah, last year we started a mentor-mentee program for within our school, and it worked out well. I think you in the process of matching the people together, because we matched them together. I think some of them were good and some of them were bad, and you couldn't really know unless you like knew everyone. But this year, what we're going to do is have like a speed dating thing. So we're going to have them basically line up
I
for
was gonna say
on one side, mentees on the other.
that is exactly what we have talked about. Yeah, like doing like a little, because we actually had a little meeting with our dean about this, and literally we used the word speed dating. That's exactly what we said. Is like, just let everyone, like, we'll just kind of facilitate it.
Yeah.
But let everyone else find someone that they get along with or want to be with.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of take our hands out of it. We're just gonna try to set it up, I guess. So.
And last year we did it. We tried to encourage them to meet together and like use each other, but we would have maybe one or two little activities for them to do. Last year we went like ice skating, or we just went out to dinner. But this year we're still doing the activities like going to a haunted house or an apple orchard or something. But we want to make it more responsibility for the mentor. We want them to really push to help the mentee. We want them to really have to do something.
For us here, we had it
Right.
like the last couple of years run by AIAS, but last year the school just like had some problems with it, and they want it to be run by the school for like some funding problems and for some AIA problems. So they just took over the mentor program, and it's
Take it back.
Yeah.
Take it back.
we can. It's a big problem that happened because of funding and just like, I don't know, they want it to be sponsored by the school, so the school would get more funding from someone.
Do you guys have a good relationship with your school, your AIAS, or your college? Or you don't?
AIAS with AIA,
No.
or the AIAS with the school?
AIAS with the school.
Yeah, I think so far it's good. It's just like because our mentor for AIAS was the one responsible for like some sort of fundings in the school, so she wanted it's a big problem. I don't know. No one knows what was going on, but they just had to take over the mentor program, and so we lost like some members because of that. Because people would just join AIAS for the mentor program. But
I know.
Maybe sit
Yeah,
down with the university and see how you can come together and kind of co-sponsor it rather than the school just basically taking it away from you.
they give priority to AIAS members, but everyone at the end of the day just joins, so there's no priority in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the times that we have come up with something really great.
Does your school take it away too?
Huh?
Does your school take it away too? All the stuff that you come up with?
Our school has taken a.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. Oh, am I still there?
Yeah, you were just skipping.
Okay. There you go.
Am I glitchy? We have a problem with, I think this is going to come off like sounding really snotty, but I think that our college is in a weird way sort of threatened by our AIAS.
Really?
And they don't want, well, like they don't, I don't know if it's necessarily that they feel threatened by us, but they do not want to relinquish too much power to us. So they don't want us to be very independent from them, so they don't.
Hello?
Abby?
Okay, it's not just us then. Abby, we can't hear you. Uh-oh.
We lost her. So Nicole, you're a grad student and she's the undergrad student?
I'm a grad student, but I'm also the one that's been sending you the emails.
Yeah.
And then this is just LTU chapter president. She's undergrad. Not just, but like this is Sam.
Yeah, I'm an undergrad. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Oh,
Feeling better.
Here, maybe I'll move. Am I back? Maybe I'm too far from my internet router. Maybe I can't sit outside and do this. Come on, buddy. I have my dog with me. So sorry. I'll wander through the house here. Well, can you hear me better now?
yes.
Okay, I was just too far away from the internet router. Like, I was really stunned to find out that, like, that most everyone else at Grassroots did not pay to go to Grassroots, that their college paid for them to go.
Oh, I was like, what?
Like, that's, like, not at all the case for us.
Yeah.
Like we get absolutely no funding from our university. We started so we have a common first year program, and then once you finish the first year program, then you submit a portfolio to get into the different disciplines. And our first year program is not on the computer at all. It's all hand done, but they expect your portfolio to be digital. So we actually started doing a workshop for first years. So we're also not allowed to talk to the first years either. We're not allowed to recruit them to become members.
Is that like that through all of your organizations? Because I know a lot of universities do that.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. It's not just AIAS.
Right, yeah. Well, it's only within the college, but they So AIS wanted to have like a little portfolio workshop for these first years so that they could learn how to use InDesign and Photoshop and just learn how to submit their work. So last year was the first year that we did that. We did a 2-part series. We did the first one was Photoshop and the second one was InDesign. So we put posters up on the floor where all the first year students are. So we had a poster like for people to sign up, an email address for them to sign up to and stuff like that. That week, the first year dean taught them, implemented a Photoshop lesson in the course, and then before so that happened around, I want to say that happened within a couple days after our first lesson. Then before we could even have our second class where we talked about InDesign, they already covered InDesign in their regular courses. So then no one showed up to our workshop because they had just been, sort of taught what they needed to know. So, which I just think is really funny because it's like, that's fine. I mean, I'm glad that they're going to implement it into the curriculum because it needs to be in there, but it's like, gosh, what a total slap in the face. You guys were going to try to have some event, but we don't want to let you. So we're going to do it in our regular classes. So we just have a lot of the department not wanting to give us any power to do things. So
do you talk to your department a lot? Do you have regular meetings with them?
We do. Our AIS exec has lunch with the dean about once a month, and then I sit on the architecture chairs council, and we also have lunch once a month. So we have pretty good representation with them, but it's very one-sided. Mm-hmm. They let us do what they want to let us do, but they don't necessarily hear our opinions when we want something. I wrote them a letter asking them to pay for at least our registration for Grassroots, and they basically told me no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of problems with, and it's mostly just our dean. Our dean's he is not very transparent with us about things. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that he lies to us, but I would not say that he is totally truthful with us about things.
That sucks a lot because we don't get things paid for directly, like for grassroots or conferences, but like get the grant, like a grand of money, like a lot of grand of money for our auction. So like basically, it's like them paying for us.
Yeah.
But, they let us do basically whatever we want to do. If they have like an honor system for studio, and this year we're starting to like nudge our way into that, and like, we kind of want to be a part of it. So they're saying, okay, well you can be a part of it, type thing. They kind of just let us do everything with them. They like us to piggyback off of them. So they do something, and they need like help like bringing members there and stuff like, or bringing just people there, and so we kind of. They give us a little bit of room to do stuff there, and we help bring members there and stuff. So we have a good relationship with them. With our college. Our university, on the other hand, we're not very close with at all. So.
Yeah. Do you feel like your architecture department sort of operates solo from the rest of the university?
Yes.
It's the same everywhere.
Actually, I know
they do.
it's highly solo, and it's highly. We are the odd ones out.
We're like the black sheep of the university.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I did have a conversation with our dean, and I basically told him that I know in the past our communication has been really terrible, and that it was our responsibility to not let that happen again this year. So. We've definitely had a better relationship in the past month than we have had in the past with him, but I do still feel a lot of that sort of reluctance, whatever, towards letting us sort of have our own. Like I said, we are completely self-sufficient. We don't rely on them for anything, but they do have a hard time sort of letting go of things for us to do within the college. So.
And we can just go down there at any point and talk to the dean at any time if he's open. We talk to him. If we want to talk to the chair, we can talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And they know all the e-board members, and
I think our dean sometimes forgets that we are not under him. For instance, we have the AIA Indiana Kentucky convention coming up, and I actually know just from grassroots the president at UK, and so him and I have talked a little bit about if they can get some students to come up, teaming up for we have a design slam competition, so teaming up and having like a Ball State UK team. Well, I mentioned, so my dean sent me an email. He wanted to have a little meeting about us going to this convention, and so I mentioned to him that we were going to try to team up with UK, and he said, "Oh no."
Oh boy.
And I was like, and he goes, they don't do that or something, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I want to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that I had to ask you permission to do things. I was like, okay.
I know that we, like I said before, we do our Beaux-Arts ball with University of Detroit Mercy, and we have communication problems, a lot of it in the past, and so our college has recommended that we do it on our own, but for us as a chapter, we decided not to, so that we could still have collaboration, and they happen to actually bring a lot of members there. So even though it's been really hard dealing with them, but it still benefits us, and the college supports us either way. So.
And not in a way where like they don't respond. It's more of like
it's misinterpretation. It's a lot of misinterpretation.
Yeah.
Do you guys work with other schools around you?
Not really.
Yeah, we don't honestly have anybody close to us.
Yeah.
We talked about with the president of Bowling Green, maybe getting together and doing something with them because they're only like a couple hours away.
4 hours? Oh.
Yeah, but that's like the closest. Yeah, for us.
That is pretty far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So, like I said, we are definitely like way out here on our own.
Um, yeah.
So we didn't have anyone go to the grassroots, so I don't know what usually happens over there.
If you want, we can have a like a one-on-one Google Hangout to kind of catch up about that. I sent an email out probably almost a month ago now that kind of had a breakdown of what happened at Grassroots as well as planning for Membership Week and a bunch of other things and how we're going to communicate this year. Um, I I believe I sent it to you. Maybe check your junk mail because if I haven't sent you an email before, it might have went there. Um, but we can set up a separate Google Hangout to kind of talk about those things and
Right.
this next year.
I'll check the email, and if I don't understand, like if I don't get everything, I'll probably email you.
Yeah, no problem. But I think we're gonna have to wrap it up right about now. Um, just make sure if you have events this week, share them on the quad page, share them on Facebook, Instagram. We want to kind of push the Midwest quad and get everything out there as possible. We want to make sure that our name is getting out there, not just as Midwest Quad, but also AIAS. So be an advocate for your chapter nationally. But with that, I think you guys may have seen this video before, but I'm going to repeat it. I'm just going to end the call with a video so you can watch it together. If you have the YouTube gadget, I think is what they're called now. So I'm going to open up YouTube. Yeah, okay. So yeah.
I think parts of it, a lot was filmed in Knowlton, in the architecture school over here.
What'd you say?
Parts of it are filmed over here in Knowlton.
Oh, really?
You're kidding.
That's awesome.
I don't know these guys, but I know the building. Like I can tell that's the building from the inside.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I'll send you guys an email probably this week about membership week, and I will talk to you guys later.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.